Streaming. Am I actually live? Usually this works. Let's see. I'll find out in a moment. There we go. I think it is. Awesome. Hello, everyone. It's been a while. Just thought I'd go on live. Sometimes I used to do this. No real topic here at hand. It was just a nice day, and I had this experiment I've been wanting to do for a while now, and could never get the parts, so I finally decided, you know what, I'll go to the hardware store and get myself some goodies here. So, stuff like galvanized strapping, very handy to for bulk, for brackets, for metal and stuff like that I like. But anyways, yeah, just saying hello, and there it is. Some people, good evening. Yeah, I guess it is evening, getting there for us anyways. So, yeah, it was a good trip today. I got all these beautiful parts over here. This is like for ducking. This is excellent parts that I'm looking for here. And I needed to look for a base, right, for mounting my stuff. So from another experiment, but what I like here is I got all the pieces I need. My high voltage transformer, my essentially a transducer. It's a vibrator. I talk about this in other videos, but this is the piece that's in the transducer. I took it separately to experiment with it, like on my own LC circuits. So that gives me easy access to the vibrator's internal circuitry here. And just to get my inputs here. So I'm going to recycle part of this anyways for my next project. So this isn't really related, I don't think, to my company or anything. This is just my own personal experiment. With my own pocket money, I went to the hardware store and I said I just had a hunch. And sometimes I like doing my own experiments, right, with no specific outcome. If it's anything, it's a learning experience more than anything else too. So there's, even if it doesn't conclude to anything, there's always a learning curve to it. So what else did I get goodies here? Oh, I like this a lot. This is the aluminum tape, for ducking and stuff like that. I use this a lot to do contacts for high voltage projects, which I'm going to, if you haven't figured out by now with this, right, something's up. Finally found a use for it, by the way, after all those years. Finally have an idea. Something clicked in late last night, believe it or not. I said, you know what, but I don't want to make a fool of myself and just flat out say, yeah, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to get this. So before I get carried away with claims and hypotheses, I'll keep it to myself, but I'll build it along anyways and see where it takes me, but we're a long way from there. Everything is just cluttered all over the place. And just taking my time here, so don't mind me if I take a moment to get some fresh air, a breath, and my soda here. Diet Pepsi, it's horrible, I know, but I guess it beats drinking, right? No, it is actually abnormally seasonal warmth is hitting us here in northern Ontario. It's just like summer here, believe it or not, and it's usually, it could get snowy by now here in northern Ontario. And I'm debating whether or not I should take the portable AC back out. It's getting that warm. We're looking at a stretch of 80s for a few days, believe it or not, for the American people. So to us, that's hot in the summer, so even pretty hot in the fall. And I've got a lot of equipment in here with my AI stuff and my server and everything. And when that turns on, and it's like 80 up there. So it sounds really silly, but I'm debating really to myself if I want to live a week of hell Or do I just suck it up, put the AC back, and then put it away when it snows, literally the week later, because this is an abnormal heat wave. But needless to say, it was a nice day, and I took advantage of it today. See if people are there. What experiments I want to run? All kinds of experiments. If I had a few extra lifetimes, I'd do even more. But I gotta allocate what I want to do, right? Time, and I'm getting old, believe it or not. I know that sounds funny, but yeah, I wish I would have been like, I guess financially in a better place like 25 years ago, so I could have bought all this stuff, or I had the more of the stamina to do it all. But needless to say, as the joke goes, as you get older, you get more money, but then you don't have the energy no more, right? But yeah, it was a good day. So more goodies. I got all of these. What are these here? These are conduit clamps, U-clamps here. And what I'm trying to do here is I bought some copper ones as well in case I wanted to make some contacts with that electrical. And I've got all these tubings here that I bought today. And what I like to do is I want to like put these things on here and bolt them to my plate, right? See the plate I had over here. Because I'm going to eventually mount the Tesla coil on this in the middle here. But no, it's not going to be a quote-unquote Tesla coil. If anything, it's going to be a Joel coil. It looks like a Tesla coil because it's got this thing, but it won't be anything like a Tesla coil. But then again, some people will argue and say it is. I just have a unique way of feeding it, that's all. Something I learned about 2 years ago. And I'm going to run with it. And what I like to do now is I need to bolt these things on the plate. And the bigger task at hand. Hey, these are really cool. Stainless steel straws, right, at the hardware store for drinking straws. But I could use these for electric conduits. So, more here for my spark gaps because I'm looking at different ways to do a spark gap drive here. These were like little, I saw this in the cooking area, so I said, hey, you know what? I'll get some of these. And of course, my copper, my handy, I lost my thing here. This is a tubing cutter for, got all this copper over here. This is going to be essentially a high frequency thing, but I'm not there yet. I got to stretch all this out, and I got to get about 25 feet of it. Then, well, I guess 26 feet, and then cut it and shape it the way I need it. Oh, it's going to be a fun one, this project here. And then my cone of shame right here, which is for cooking, but I won't be using this for cooking. And oh, this is great. This is going to be, I think, my capacitive. This, or maybe, no, it's going to come out like that. I'm going to figure something out. All these goodies. So what's more important now is what I'd like to do eventually is what I was talking about, get this on my, because I'm going to mount the coil on here. I'm thinking about here. This is going to go inside the coil, this thing here. So I've got a few of these, and it's going to keep it mounted on there, but not directly. I'm going to have some, I got all these big rods here. So they're all, I made sure they were threaded, yes, because it's very convenient, because then I can just go like this, like that, here. This is going to be great actually. Once this is solid, it's going to stay like this on my board. Perfect. So at least I got one thing right today, which is nice. Again, absolutely. Oh, forgot about these ones here too. Maybe if I wanted to go on. Anyways. Yeah, so, oops. Hope I'm not going to break anything here. So just saying hello to everyone here live and showing that I'm still alive and everything is okay. Had a nice day actually out here in northern Ontario. I'm just trying to unpack my mess here and organize myself. It's always more of a mess when you buy stuff than the actual parts, right? There's so much, but yeah, people laugh at some of the materials, but I went in the hardware store kitchen section because, you know, some of the shapes and things that I need are already for obviously different uses. I'm not going to make cheese here, but, you know, why reinvent the wheel, right, when I need something with holes as a screen? And, you know, there it is, you know, why not? I'm just going to take this cap out of there. Obviously, it's screwed in there through the inside here. And I'm going to have, where the screw comes in, I'm going to try and drill a bigger hole in that. That's going to be for something I have in mind. I've got my cap for it here. This, which way? I had it working at the hardware store, so I had it all figured out, like this. There we go. Okay. So, yeah. Hope everyone's doing well today. It's been a good week here. I don't know how it's been for everyone else. But I guess there's always news everywhere, right? So, yeah, it's what it is. I like using everything I can find because I don't have right now. It's coming along eventually with a lab and a workshop and all that, the company end of things. But for me personally, I'm still in an apartment, right? So when I want to try something that's, you don't have a machine shop to weld your own pieces and make your own like forms like this, right? And bend it all. So I get whatever's pre-made and I experiment with that. So I thought this will be a great capacitor. So it's a start, but I'm not worried about corona discharges because I'm not going to be running it in that mode. That's the thing, you see, because people will probably say, well, that was the first thing, right? When I looked at this, I said, you know, normally, because it's very sharp, you get all the corona discharges. But I'm not building a Tesla coil, so that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all. All I need is the capacitance, and this will do more than enough. I believe, anyways. So now, yeah, sometimes I wish I had the workshop, but I guess the workshop is coming. Workshop, I say workshop, but it's probably going to be like hybrid workshop lab, kind of like what Bedini had. It might not even be around here if we can't actually find what I'm looking for here, because we've got a lot of projects we want to like get going on. And, it's just you need the lab space and lab setting to be able to do a lot of this stuff, even just the machining end of things, right? You can't drill a hole in a piece of metal in an apartment building. Well, I guess you could, but without getting in trouble with the neighbors, with the noise, and then notices to get out. So yeah, I'm reserving all the hardcore stuff for when we get in the lab. And then I'm going to have staff. It's going to be the good days, people to help me out. It's all coming along one step at a time. But for now, sometimes I have my own questions and I want to find my own answers, right? This is one of those moments where it's hopefully curiosity doesn't kill the cat. Let's just see how's everyone doing. I'm just gonna get closer. It's just my laptop here streaming and I can't see the font from the table. Skiller Wave, someone is asking. Oh my goodness, I did that way back. A lot of fun, a lot of fun. For communications, basically. The ham radio part of me, right? I still have it somewhere, actually. I even built a Skiller Wave version of a field strength detector. That thing was fun. People wanted to know more about it because they were into, like, the paranormal people were all into it in other forums. I started reading them. They mentioned me. But that's not what I was into, right? But that's what captivated them. They wanted to use it for that, right? But me, it was just to measure the potential of this killer. Kind of like what Bedini had. He had a meter. Same thing, basically. I built my own that way, and a bunch of people wanted the circuit diagram and everything. And like Bedini actually posted it. So no secret there. Yeah, just taking a break here. But I think I'm going to try and screw these things on my plate while I'm here. Before I get carried away here again. Got these little screws here. Hopefully that thing can stand on its own. I'd be very happy. Because when that starts to spark gap, I don't want to be anywhere near this thing, honestly. To hold it, that is, This is the part I hate again about not being in a shop. Manual tools and you could have really better stuff, drills and. But I'm gonna try with what I got. I knew that was about here. But I get a tape measure. Where is my tape measure? Right here. Right here. I need to make sure. Make sure I know what the diameter of that is. 6 inches. Over here. This has to go right around here. This one here and there. Better find the right. That's square. Can you believe it? Oh. Why don't they have like just 3 kinds, right? Then we'd be done with this. There we go. Hopefully I don't go through my kitchen table either. I wish I had something that wasn't so manual. These are wood screws. But what's good is I get these things at the dollar store, right? Like these cutting tables that wood, for the food. And then I use that to platform my stuff on. Makes a good base, right? But it's very hard wood to penetrate, to screw into. But once you get in there, it holds pretty good. Again, I don't like reinventing the wheel, and I gotta improvise sometimes until I actually do get that workshop. There we go, this one's in there. And now, I'm gonna say hello to everyone that's just starting to, that just came on the stream here, or viewing. As I said in the intro, nothing really specific going on, just saying hello, it's a nice day, and I figured, hey, I may as well stream. Not doing anything serious anyways, just trying to mount something here on the base, and hopefully it's going to be tight enough, because if this land might backfire on me, actually. But these are plastic U-clamps, right? And if I can't really get them tight, I got some other ones here, the regular metal ones, so then I could really tighten down on it. It won't move. But for this part here, I would rather not it be conductive. That's why, you know, there's a method to the madness why I went all plastic here on the base. Let's see what everyone's saying here. It's a spark gap Tesla coil. No, none of it looks like it, but as I introduced all the parts here, it's something I have in mind, but I'm going to be using this. And I'm going to be mounting it here, but it's going to be, I need to put a rod here, mounted on here, on my board, solid. So that's why I've got like these things here. They're threaded, by the way, and so are my rods. I got 2 rods here, and I got them threaded so that they fit in this plastic thing. So this is non-conductive, very important. And that's going to hold my rod on my base. And I still got to stretch all of this copper about 26 feet. I got to stretch it out and cut it. I got to shape that. And this is going to be my capacitor. And I realized that, you know, this would normally not be good because of the corona discharges. But since I'm not building a Tesla coil, that won't matter. So not the way I'm going to be feeding it anyways. So again, what I'm doing, I have an idea and I'm not too sure how to explain it yet. So as I build along, I'm not even sure if some it's just for me, you know, it's not something I want to make a claim of. If it ends up working well, I'll obviously make some videos of it and show it working and everything. But before that, I can't really say, oh geez, like I said earlier, I'm trying to make X, Y, and Z that's going to get me. It's just an idea I had literally like overnight. And I said, my goodness, I've got stuff at the hardware store here that I could maybe experiment with that idea. And a lot of times when I have ideas, you know, it doesn't work. It works in my mind, but it doesn't work when I do it in real life. But what's very interesting is 10% of the time, it does work. Like with the peg cells, for example, and a few other things that I did pretty good with. And even though it doesn't work, at least 90% of the time you learn something, right? So no loss at the end, but with that said, I don't want to make a very premature claim here when I'm not even sure. Well, not say I'm not even sure. I know what I'm going for, but will it actually work? I don't know. Just a hunch I had on the way I used to, like maybe from 2-3 years ago, a video I had about the one-wire system in my Tesla coils. So I want to extend on that now, because it's like a part 2 that I actually never did. I started going into other topics instead, and I was really doing well with this stuff. So I just want to complete something just for the sake of it, you know. Hopefully I can bolt this down here. And if this doesn't do it, I'm going to try it with this is all plastic. It's all electrical department stuff, actually. There we go, it's starting to go in, but I'm starting to think it won't be tight enough. Well, actually, well, I'm pretty lucky. Yeah, that's gonna work. Nice. I hope the volume is okay. I'm not sure there. I guess it is since no one's saying anything. Just gonna go back and read the comments here. Very hard to read on the small screen. Oh, the Tesla's mind machine thing. Yeah, yeah. You know, so many people ask me about that thing. It started making me feel sick, so I stopped using it actually. Again, something maybe with the lab equipment I'd be able to get back into again to actually figure out what kind of waves are actually being emitted, or what harmonics of. There are harmful waves, and it depends with the phase too, and all of that stuff, right? It could be harmful to biological life too with these things, or it could be beneficial. Probably the right frequency could zap cancer out of anyone, but so much we still don't know. I'd like to find out a lot of that stuff, but how do you allocate yourself to like 4 or 5 different projects at once? Right now they want me to do Don Smith with the company. Okay, we'll do Don Smith, but there's more to the world than Don Smith. What about anti-gravity? What about teleportation and all of that stuff, right? Give me a lab and resources and I'll experiment with it all. If I had the money, right? This is gonna work. Nice. As I said, the only downside of buying like the dollar store stuff, it's not made for this, but it's a nice base. Kind of hard to start once you get the hole in there. That's my dog barking. Hey! Here we are. So once it gets through there, the first layer, it's probably the vinyl layer that's really hard. It's a chopping board, right? I like it because it gives me a nice base. Make sure this thing isn't, well, before I get too tight on here, I better put this in there to make sure it's square, right? All right. For once, this is working out. First shot. My goodness, this is a first time for everything. All right. Won't break it. All right, let's see if my silly idea holds. Literally, this is threaded, so that should screw right in there. Awesome. In there, tight, but not that it snaps. I can make sure that's. I do have a. That seems pretty good right there. No, like that. Close enough. Once I get it tightened, tighter, but at least it doesn't fall or anything. That's good. At least I could adjust it a little bit more. I could hardly move it. Very good. Let's see if this fits. Is this gonna fit? There's my wire here. Sure, I get my wire. Beautiful. There it is. So it'll be fun if I can connect to it. This is the bottom, this is the top. Like that. That. Awesome. Perfect. So now, there we go. It's actually starting to work. Just gonna read if I'm just reading. I'm sorry if I'm all close up all of a sudden. This is where the laptop is. So can't read the chat here. I'm not trying to be antisocial or anything. Just trying to take a peek here what the chat is all about right now. And that's good. So this is what I wanted to do. So next step I want to do is I'd like to make this more solid. I don't know if I should just I could do something silly like these clamps, or I could just be really sloppy and just glue it. I'll glue it, but I don't know. Maybe if I just screw these like this, that'll hold it right in there. That'd be neater. Do we go for neatness or do we go for get her done? That would actually work perfect to keep it right there. Yeah, I guess we should do it properly, within with the equipment I have here, or improvising with stuff that's not designed, as long as it does the job at the end of the day, right? So these things will, so what I want to do now is I want to use these U-clamps here, screw them on the board, and just to hold them at the bottom of the coil here so it doesn't wobble around on the plate. So, as I keep saying, method to the madness. But I'm going to have to take this one out of there for now. Oh, maybe not. Or maybe get another screwdriver for it. It's just very difficult. Yeah, if I had, yeah, this might not work as good as I thought it would because, well, I can always do the holes first. So much work. Do the holes first, and then put the thing in there. So where I wanted this to go. Is this in the middle here? This rod has to be exactly in the middle. Look at this way here. The rod is in the middle. Alright. So do I have a little marker? There, in here. So I can mark that. There we go. That's one. The other one will go on this side. I'm just marking my holes. So now I know I have the room to hold these things. Just gonna check it out here. So far so good, alright. Just making sure no one's trying to specifically get my attention here. Just lining up my thing. This one here goes here. Like that. It always takes a moment to get through. Once it is, it's pretty good. There we go. There. This one here. So I'm just trying to screw the some holders here for the coil so it doesn't wobble. Just something crude, just keep it in place. Go. Shouldn't get a hard time with that. Like being a knot in the wood. My luck, and just hit that spot. As long as that's solid, that's what matters. See how that lines up now. Nice. far so good. Let's do the other one. Oh, we're getting there. Take a little break. Ah. Crazy ideas. I'm thinking about what I got myself into here. Oh. So hope everyone's doing good this evening. I think it's getting there. About 5:25 here. So. All right. Now to do the other side. Should have something that works half decent. This one here goes like this, according to the mark. I feel like go and get a better screwdriver than this. I do have them. Oh, this one seems to be better. Depends where in the wood. I think I was in the knot in the other one. More. Okay. Wow. Nice. That one went in. Now let's see how that lines up. Carefully. Carefully. And this one there, that one there. That's pretty good, actually. At least now I can move it around. Nice. Very, very good. All right. Now to figure out how I'm going to feed this thing. I'm going to build something high enough to get to the top of that. These things come in play, maybe. I don't know if this thing can hold another rod around here. Right there. I do have a thing right here. This rod here. Maybe go somewhere like here. On the edge. What could I do here? Like this. are going to be. It's too thin. Sorry, I'm just rambling in my mind here. I'm trying to engineer something on the spot. Maybe not a good idea. Let's see these here. It's interesting. I'm sure. So now, what I was going to do, this is threaded here on this side too. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So this is what I want to do. It's going to be. It's going to wobble too much. Put a hole in there. Yeah, I think I'm going to somehow put a hole in there, but this could do for now. Good, good, good. So now, guess I'm talking to myself, I'm sorry. It's how I process. And at the same time, I'm trying not to be antisocial, you know, because I'd just be here moving my hands around without saying anything. This, oh, it's perfectly flat right in the middle. Just gotta find the middle. It's a little flimsy, but I'll do better. This is what I want ultimately. I want that there. I was gonna make maybe like a kind of base for it. This here maybe, and that goes in there, and I can maybe drill a small hole in there, and but I don't know. Might be easier just slapping it on there like that. It's a good contact anyways. It's pretty heavy, so it just bounces there. Okay. Something like that. Maybe if I could get someone to spot weld that down the line, right where I want it. That's exactly it. And now, the issue is I gotta pay attention here before I go further. So I gotta figure out this thing now. I'm gonna pop this off. But it says like a, I guess great cheese grater or whatever. I got at a hardware store. So I'm gonna use this piece here. And gotta take the knob off. There's a screw in there. That knob out of the way. Ah, awesome, exactly the piece I needed. Perfect. Now it's perfectly. So now, where's my cap? I got a cap. I think this is it right here. I can cap this off in this direction here. How did I have that in the store? Like this. Something like that. I must have another cap somewhere, but oh, where did I put that? Let's see how the chat is going here. Don't mind us, just be you. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do here. My apologies if I don't always interact with the chat. Like I said, the way they set it up, if you don't have like a moderator, like a partner with you, like how can you know if you're doing your thing? The chat is like this tiny font on your screen, like literally from, 5 feet away. You don't see what's on the chat unless I get right next to my computer screen, my laptop. So that's the only complaint I have about the whole YouTube thing is it's hard to do both jobs at once, right? Running the room, reading the room, interacting with the room while doing my thing at the same time. So it's not for being disrespectful or anything, just I'm just puttering around here, just an idea that I want to try. So I know it's not a, well, I guess I don't know. I don't want to make it into an argument. That's why I'm saying no, it's not a Tesla coil. And I'm using Tesla parts, that's for sure. So now the issue is I gotta stretch this copper out now. And I gotta measure exactly 26 feet. 26 feet. I'm gonna make sure, actually I'm gonna have to calculate that. 10 megahertz quarter wavelength. I hope. I didn't have a calculator, it would be at the hardware store, so my numbers may be way off. Quarter wave, 10 megahertz. Where's my calculator? Don't mind me, folks. Partially wrong. No, I was right, 24 feet. Good. Close, 24 feet. Hopefully I've got 24 feet. 24 feet if I'm going for 10 megahertz. I go for 20, but I think it'll be strong enough at 20. So, I gotta measure, hopefully, oh my goodness. It's all they had at the store. I said I'll take the whole run. They sell it by the foot. Copper tubing, I guess, for ACs and heating, and that's fridge and that sort of thing. I'm looking at 6 feet. I'm looking at 12 feet here. 14 feet. So let's start with 10 feet over here. 10 feet over here. Well, I know what 10 feet is. Let's stretch out 10 feet. Oh, the wonders of RF. Everything has to be just right. Okay. All right, I think I have enough. All right. Just gotta bend this copper tubing. At least it's a good diameter that I can work with without any special tools. It's a bonus. Okay. I gotta get as close as I can to the wavelength. It's not a joke. 10 megahertz. Okay. So there's 10 feet right here. All right. We go all the way. Okay. On this side of the house. Hey, Foofy, you're nice there, but it's copper tubing. Gotta go this. I need the length. Be able to measure it. Wow. Okay. Bear with me, folks. There's 10. There's my 10 right there. Start again. Right here. 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 Shame I couldn't use it as is, but it's not the right loop in its stock form. Right. So now, 10 is right here. 10 is right there. All right. Right there. Okay, so there's 20 down there. There's 20 down here. Okay. And I need 24 feet. I need 25 actually. Just so I have enough to fine tune later. So I'm gonna go all the way here. So this is 1, 2, 3. Man, you know what? I think the length actually is 25 feet. Oh, all of that. Oh, all of that. What a fluke though, right? Just what they had at the store. That has to be some kind of an omen. That really matches the wavelength I was looking for. That's like really, really weird. And I really took this and said, I'll just have whatever's left. This is what I need. I'll take the whole thing. He just looked at me and punched in the computer like, you're nuts. Literally, that's so weird. Now I gotta coil this back. Silly. You know. I actually had 25 feet here. The fun part is going to be to make myself some kind of a template. That has to got to be 16 inches diameter. So that'll fit beautifully right inside. 16-inch. My loop has got to be 16-inch, and it's got to be tuned to 10 megahertz quarter wave, which, by the way, complete fluke. The piece of copper I have is exactly that length. That's so weird. So some people are kind of asking what this contraption is. Well, essentially a resonant antenna, more or less, ish. Kind of like a hybrid between Tesla coil and a one-wire system. So the idea, I don't know yet. I really don't know what it's going to do. Obviously, the something anomalous, whatever it may be. With these things, I don't always hold my breath. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It was just based out of an idea I had last night. Something quick I want to try. But you know, something quick and you buy all this stuff, believe it or not, $480 later, you know, just in screws and tools and, ah well. Like I said, at least it's a learning experience, right? There's always a learning experience, and whatever I learn is not lost. But looking forward to have my lab, hopefully by the way it's looking with the company, you know, it's coming, but it's getting too cold here in my neck of the woods to start doing lab commercial space and all that. But probably by the spring. I might move away, I'm not sure yet, somewhere where it's warmer, more accessibility to things. Because it really sucks trying to do stuff out of an apartment. But, you know, I do what I can with what I got, taking it day by day. Just taking a break here. So now, this is nice to actually have my, I've got an AC high voltage here. There's a neon transformer. And I also have, where's the other one here? Oh, it's in the other room. There's a block here, it's DC. It's already rectified with the high voltage diodes and everything. So it sort of skips, well, saves a few steps that I have to do with this one here. But needless to say, I have it on the board so that if I need to use it, there it is. And easy to trigger by the vibrator here, which runs off a very, very little voltage. This one, I believe, is a, it says on the side here, I believe is a 6 volts. So it'll start chopping at 6 volts, which gives it like 60 hertz AC. This thing here loves. Anyways, one thing at a time here. What's next? What's next? Now I gotta, yes, I was working on my coil. Gotta figure out some way to 16 inches. Actually, I'm gonna see how the math goes. I don't like that number for some reason. Relative. Okay, so what about 18 better, right? 18 inch brings us at 18 inches. I only have to make 6 or so loops, which would be a lot easier to build, right? Six or 7 loops at 18 inches. I want to get that right in the middle of my coil here. So what's nice about the copper is it's thick enough that I think I could make it self-sustain its own weight around there. See how, but the thing is I gotta use, now I know I gotta use this, all of this. That's my 25 feet right here. The only problem is, Alexa, stop. Sorry about that, folks. Keep forgetting, you know, you gotta mute everything when you go live. So, yeah, no, the way I'm seeing that with all of that, it's gonna take me more than 6 turns. Who knows though? 18-inch diameter loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, it's gonna be pretty close. Just don't know how I can. I wish I had a template, you know, like something I could actually wrap it around instead of having to do it. Worst comes to worst, I could make it like into like a square. It's not as circular, but at least I can get my diameter. Build a base for it. It's going to be pretty sloppy by hand. And I need, yeah. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Now, one thing I want to see is, will this fit nicely in here? This is going to go in here. That's going to work. Perfect. Perfect. Or maybe better on this side here. Then I have, this is block. All right. So again, hello to everyone who's watching, just mounting stuff here on a board, trying to get ready for an experiment. Not 100% sure of the outcome here, just something I want to try. And yeah, one of the things I'm going to have to think about tonight is how to wind my coil here. Maybe just make a wooden basin. I don't know. I could do it by hand. I might try, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I can come up with. Actually, I do have a coil. Let's see. I got this one here. But I think it's too it's really heavy duty stuff. It can handle 500 to 1,000 watts. Tape measure. Oh man, I can almost use this one as a template. What? 17, 22, 22. How does that go? I think that would be, the coupling would be too far. Walnut. Just seeing how the chat is going here. Awesome, everybody's doing okay, it seems. Just grabbing another soda, I'm so thirsty. Oof. Okay. Now, I could put something, I need another base, but I could put something non-conductive to, like I had in my other coil here, and then just wrap along that, like a skeleton. And that might be a way of doing it. Maybe like four pieces of PVC pipes, and just wrap around. So maybe it's going to need another trip to the hardware store. To me, I think that's the easiest. I don't even need the PVC right there right away. I could have it all built first and then actually build the coil along it and then pop it in there. Then with these things here, it's nice because everything's threaded. So like I did before, just screw that in there. And that holds the whole assembly. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm sorry if it looks like I'm talking to myself, but if I don't talk, people will say, geez, I'm quiet. And if I talk, people say I'm talking to myself, right? So what I wanted to do here today is make sure this fits on my base, and it does. Now what I'm going to, I guess, sleep on tonight is figuring out how to wrap my coil here. The whole section, 25 feet, needs to be, I'd like it to be at least 17 to 18 inch diameter. And I'd like it to have like 7, 8 loops, as little as I can. But that's what I'm going to sleep on tonight. Figure that out. And then what else do I need here? I'm trying to visualize here how yeah. So I need to do some wiring too here. So what I'm going to have to do is, all right, so high voltage comes out. There's my trigger. I have something like this. I'll figure something out. It's tunable. It's going to fire. Really nice spark gap. Somehow I could mount everything neatly. Probably going to do this again right here. But the problem is, yeah, I don't want it to interfere with my, that's why I'm probably going to need two boards. Because this is going to have to probably come in from like over here somewhere. Like near this range. And this is when this thing comes in here. And then at the right, bzzz, yeah, that's how that's going to work. That's how that's going to work. Yeah, by the way, I'm doing it all in reverse. That's all part of the strategic. You learn to do, as part of the expression, shit all backwards. And it actually starts working for some reason. So yeah, that's going to be the thing. Backwards Joe. That's why I'm not worried about the corona discharge, right? Because this is not a typical Tesla coil. I'm actually going to, there's a need for the spark gap, and it's going to literally be the feed point. But I still need the capacitance. Capacitance is important. And then when I saw this thing, I fell in love with it at the hardware store. I said, oh, my capacitor. I don't need to hire a professional welder. So with that said, I think I'm going to take a break, have dinner, and say good night for now until next time. I just wanted to do a quick hello here, and I got a little bit carried away for a moment there. That was the funny part. My copper, I'm looking for, quarter wave 10 megahertz, right? And trying to figure it out, and it's like, and anyways, I didn't know. I was at the hardware store, and I'm just doing this off my mind with nothing, no notes or anything. And I come on the coil of copper, and it says, so much by the foot. So I just took the whole thing, and I said, nah, this is what I need. I'll figure it out when I get home. I want to have, a lot, so I have spare. I'll just calculate once I get home what I need. Then it turns out exactly, literally, for the frequency is that what that piece is, I'm measuring it on the floor here, and then I'm like, what? This is exactly the length, and I needed 25 feet. Oh, well. That was a good one. That really was a good one. If I would have known, I wouldn't have done the whole ordeal of trying to unwind it and uncoil it, even though it was still wrong there. But there was no sticker or anything that said, 25 feet, pre-bundled. I had no clue. But it saved me the headache of doing that. But anyways, with that said, I hope you enjoy your day, your evening, whatever. And if I do ever get anything interesting with what this contraption I'm working on, I'll keep you all posted on it. But until then, this is nothing more than a steam pump project for now, right, until I get it going. So, but I do have an idea. It's something I want to try. So with that said, folks, have yourselves all a great evening, and I hope you enjoyed the live.